So thrilled to be here, and I invite you to take a few deep breaths and take in the Adagio at ease music you're about to hear. Beethoven's first movement of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Thank you. So this is one time when silent applause are actually better than sound applause because the sound would kind of break the mood. So, and Maria's back, nice to see you, and Shara, fantastic. Thank you, welcome. If you're just joining us, that was just my first adagio of the evening, the most famous, the Beethoven Moonlight Sonata, which usually adagio is a middle movement or a second movement, but in Beethoven's case, he always broke the rules, and that was the first movement. And I am going to stay with Beethoven for a bit, for a couple of adagios. This next one is an early Beethoven sonata, so Opus 10. It was his fifth piano sonata, pretty early. And this is so typical Beethoven in that it has tons of contrast, sudden dynamic changes, lots of notes. And Demi's here, welcome. And lots of notes and sudden changes of lots of rhythmic changes, a lot of surprises. So this is the picture of the piece that I posted. So just because it's adagio doesn't mean it's not a lot of notes. And I was talking to my good friend Sue Hammond, who's a fabulous pianist. She's a colleague of mine, and we were talking about the description of adagio. She made a suggestion. She said, talk about the tempo. So even though things are slow, it doesn't mean they're easy. So one of the things about adagio that's kind of magical is finding the right tempo. If it's too slow, these long lines that you're about to hear in this, and particularly in the Mozart, don't hold together. If it's too fast, it feels rushed. It needs a lot of breath. It needs that Leon Fleischer famous comment I mentioned a few weeks back of play every note as late as you possibly can without being too late, but yet not too late. So you're going to hear this kind of longer line continuing throughout this. And it's like getting that stretch of the tempo so I can keep the listener engaged while it's still a slow tempo. So Beethoven Opus 10, number 1, Adagio molto means just much adagio, like really make sure it's slow. So enjoy all the contrast in this too, and the lots of notes and the rhythms and the rest. Beethoven's famous for his pauses in his writing. It's, I forget who said this, a famous musician said, it's not the notes that makes a piece, it's the silence between the notes.
And JC is with us too, doing housework to Adagio. Fantastic, I love it. JC, before you were on, I said you could be taking a bath now, and that would work too. So I recall when we transitioned from cassette tapes to CDs, so I don't know, 20 years ago or so, I remember an album, a CD coming out called Adagio. And it was Herbert von Karajan conducting all of these Adagio movements. And boy, have I changed since then, because I thought it was sacrilegious. I thought it was like against the rules. It was like you're going to get arrested for doing a program, in this case, an album, of music that you just took the movements by themselves. And I have changed my ways a lot. So there's a time and a purpose for everything, and this is the time for Adagio, if there ever was one. So moving on to Beethoven's next, probably next most famous Adagio, the Adagio Cantabile. Cantabile means to sing, Adagio means at ease. So really, this is where you get a long sense of long lines, long legato lines that are stretched, and you'll recognize this melody. So in this case, this is the second movement, the middle movement of Beethoven's Pathetique. So these are all fairly early Beethoven, anything up through Opus 50, Opus just meaning the chronological listing of the composer's work. So up through 50 is called early Beethoven. Beethoven, just briefly, had really three different composition careers in a certain way. So early Beethoven is very different from middle period Beethoven, which is very different from late Beethoven. So these are all early. The middle movement, the Adagio Cantabile of the Pathetique. And if my mom is on, Trudy Spector, can you post a comment? I believe she's on. And maybe you could all say hi to her as well. Thanks. She's listening from Syracuse, New York, where I grew up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the lovely comments. And okay, so many of you have been with me for, this is my 21st live, and many of you have been with me actually for the beginning through all of them. And Lori's here. Hi, Lori, your favorite. Yeah, the pas de tique has been like all instruments play. It's just such a gorgeous melody. It's tireless. It's like nobody has. I've taught it. I've played it. I just never get tired of it. It's so beautiful. And okay, so I'm about to come out of the closet, as I've done with something else here. I forget, but Mozart. I love Mozart. I mean, Mozart's the perfect composer. I play a lot of Mozart for myself and my dog, Gina. I don't play Mozart in public. It's just so exposed. Even Mozart specialists. So I was very fortunate to study for a few years with Lillian Kallier, and she was known for her Mozart playing was so exquisite. And even she told me she got, as much as she played Mozart, so many of the concerti and so many sonatas, she just got so nervous every time she played Mozart because everything is just so perfect and so exposed that the littlest tiny slip is just kind of transparent. But here I am playing Mozart. This movement has always been my favorite slow movement of any Mozart sonatas, from the F major. And my first time playing it in public. So this is at the beginning when I talked about this long line of adagios. You will hear this. It's like when I play it, I feel this elasticity, and it's like getting the right tempo that just brings the listener along and carries them through these long breaths. It's kind of like if you were a singer. I mean, Mozart's piano music and instrumental music is very much like his opera arias of just these long, beautiful lines. So here we go for the first time in public in many, many years playing Mozart for you, the Adagio from the F major sonata. So came out of the closet with that Mozart, and I actually have more Mozart that I know a little better than that that I had studied. That one I've taught a lot, but I've never played. And what I'm going to play next week, I've played a lot when I was younger. And great sound night. So I had some help with one of my students who messaged me and told me some positioning on the mic. So I did change some things. So I'm glad the sound has improved. So I think I've got that down now. So good to know, Lori. Thank you. So moving on to a movement that's actually not an adagio, but I thought was so appropriate. Thank you for the hearts and the floating emojis. If you've been with me a while, you know that I just love Schubert, and I've played a few of the movements from different sonatas here, but I haven't played this one. So this is known as the Little A Major. It's not an adagio, it's actually an andante. So adagio means at ease, it's a slower tempo. Andante is it's still slow, it's a little faster, it moves along a little more, but this movement is the second movement in the Little A Major. It's to die for, it's so beautiful, so I just couldn't leave it out. And even though it was written earlier, but it was published, it's opus posthumous, it was published after his death, but it was actually, they found that it was written earlier. It's so beautiful. So doesn't need much of an introduction. The Schubert, I say Little A Major because he wrote a late sonata, which we call the Big A Major. It's much bigger work. And the Andante from the Little A Major. from Gina's reaction here, I might decide to put that on my dog album of Doggone Calm with a little less dynamic range, because she's snoring over here. And, thank you. Thanks for the hearts. I just love that moment. I am moving on to left hand only. I've played this here before, and it's one of it's a fan favorite. It's the Scriabin Prelude for left hand only. It's not it's actually also marked Andante like the Schubert was, but it's slow, and it's just so lyrical and gorgeous. So I'm gonna play that, and then I'll go right into a Scriabin Prelude that's also just a slower tempo that's so beautiful. So Scriabin's, I've played here before just briefly, late Romantic Russian composer. That's just, his music is so gorgeous. Adagios are such a great idea. Thank you. And post, so you're always welcome to post your emotions, what you're feeling. You know, I don't know if tonight's making you cry or just relaxing you. If you're feeling relaxed, post that in the comments, and also post your ideas of what you'd like to hear in the future. I try and accommodate. I think Alexander, you had suggested the Bach Goldberg variations. I don't play that. I mean, I'm not ready to do that here. But if it's something I can accommodate, or a theme of concerti, or whatever it is. I've done sonatas, preludes, nocturnes, I forget, adagio. So okay, so the two Scriabin, one the prelude for left hand only, and then the prelude for two hands. one of my students in my Piano Ninja Tricks online class introduced me to that. I didn't know that piece. I just think it's so beautiful. So thank you, Ken, for introducing me to that. And okay, so I'm going to close with a gorgeous adagio, and a few of these are actually on my dog album. You don't have to have dogs, but it is relaxing to dogs and actually relieves anxiety issues. And if you want a free download of, it's not even a download, you don't even have to download anything, you just click on it, and you can download, but you have 20 minutes of music that's very soothing at myzenpet.com. And Gina, can we show up your bandana my sister made? So it's at, here you go, it's at myzenpet.com. And before I close, I'll just, you know what, let me play this and then I'll talk. So this is the Adagio. This is also introduced by a student from Belarus. This is an unknown piece. I don't think it's published. It's by a Belarus composer, Skulta, and it's an Adagio. And again, you're welcome to write in anything you're feeling while you listen to this as well. Thank you. And Linda's watching. Thanks. So, Linda, we've been in an Adagio mood all evening. I've been in an Adagio mood all day. Apparently, Elizabeth Brown has also. And thank you for listening. Again, welcome. Your suggestions are welcome. And you can listen to this again, you could share it, you could start a watch party, tomorrow night you could take a bubble bath while you're listening to it, and no one will know because, you know, they can't see you. So, and perfect summer evening. That's kind of what I felt like. It's our first, oh my God, it was so great on the coastside to have the sunshine come out and have clean air after all the fires, and breathe the fresh air and just walk outside. It just felt like great kind of end of summer, I guess, is Labor Day. So welcome to your suggestions. As always, this is a free service, but I'm so appreciative of any donations you make. I left a PayPal link in the description. And I'm on next week. I'm planning a really big program. So I will just say it's hopefully next week. It might be in 2 weeks, but I'm learning a really big piece for my left hand only. And it's fun and it's different and it's challenging, and I love challenges. So I'll be on next week with that. If you're not on my mailing list, lisasspector.com, please join. In the middle of revamping my mailing list, changing marketing services, and lots of fun stuff coming. And as always, I am so appreciative. I know there's a million things you could be doing with your time, and I'm so grateful that you're spending it with me and with us and forming this music community here. One other thing I'm going to add, speaking of for any musicians, I am so committed to my motto, which is screw perfect, just make music, no matter what my hand can reach. Even in the Moonlight Sonata, some of those reaches were very hard for my hand. That I actually started a Facebook group this week called Screw Perfect, Just Make Music. And if you're a musician and you believe in that philosophy of it's just about making music. I went to Juilliard. I was taught you just don't walk on stage unless you're prepared to play a note perfectly. And I have changed from that so much. Of course, I aim for, actually my other motto is, I realized practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progress. And everything is about progress. And that's the joy comes in the progress, not in the perfection. So you're welcome to join our Facebook group. If you're a musician and you believe in that philosophy, at Screw Perfect, Just Make Music. It's private, so you'll just need to answer a few questions when you join. And thanks for joining us tonight. Look forward to your suggestions. Look forward to seeing you here next week. And I'm so glad you enjoyed an evening of Adagio, of at-ease music to breathe deeply after so much stress these last few weeks, and I'm glad it relaxed you, and look forward to connecting more. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.